Welcome to 30 Goals Challenge for Educators. My name is Shelly Terrell, and today's goal is to establish a web presence. Will Richardson said, in the Web 2.0 world, self-directed learners must be adept at building and sustaining networks. There are many reasons why to establish a web presence as an educator. First of all, because our students live online. This is part of their everyday, for many of them, it's part of their daily routines. And in order to be able to teach them positive digital citizenship, which will be our goal tomorrow that we will explore, we have to be able to understand the complexities, the obstacles, and the positive points of being online and interacting in online communities. This can be a very positive thing. Another reason is because other teachers who we want to come online, if we're not making positive digital footprints and we are making negative ones, then we make it so much more difficult and we make it that much harder for those who are trying to come in and are new to this online world. So I think it's really important. Another reason is because if you Google the politicians and the leaders that are in charge of education policy and education transformation, the ones that are getting their voice out there, you will see they have trails and trails and trails of a digital footprint, and their voice and their message is being spread when it should really be educators' voices that are heard and are spread and are the main messages. But unfortunately, right now, it's not like that. And I think that this is such a shame because we're losing out in using such a very powerful tool to spread a message about education transformation. If we could get all the educators online to learn this specific skill set of what it means to establish positive web presence and to get a message spread on social networks, then we could really have a great impact. So I want to be able to help you today with some of the resources that are included in the blog at Teacheroo Bootcamp. And hopefully these will help you with establishing your web presence. And the short-term goal is to choose one of these different resources to look up what kind of web presence you have already so you have an idea. Compare that with somebody else out there who's an educator making a big splash. Dr. Alec Quiros is wonderful. He has several presentations about this, and you could Google his name. You can Google Sylvia Tolosino languages. You could Google Angela Myers, Will Richardson, David Warlick, Alfie Kohn, Sir Ken Robinson. And then you can see what kind of digital footprint and message that they're spreading, and you can kind of compare it to where you want to be as a long-term goal. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to be Sir Ken Robinson, not everyone has to be Alfie Kohn or even David Warlick, but I think that, there is something about us trying to leave a digital footprint and spread a message of what we believe education should be about. And I think every little bit that we can do is just really powerful. So what I want you to do for a long-term goal is just to continue to figure out these tools. Now, there are different things you can do. One of them is establish an online profile. You want to be able to take the vision you had yesterday, this vision statement, and to align it with your different web personas out there. You want to be able to make complete profiles. I go to so many Ning, so many Twitter pages, Facebook, and the profiles are, first of all, they don't have pictures. I think it's really important to have real pictures of yourself. I know some people are very shy about what they look like, but that's not the important part. It's the human connection. And online communication is very different than face-to-face communication because you don't have those nonverbal cues that make up 80% of language. So often a message can get misread. This is some things that I studied as part of my bachelor's when I was going to college, so I kind of get these things, and I'm here to help you and hopefully just to help you get started and learn some of this information. So how we can communicate and make sure that we're not misunderstood. I think sometimes educators go online and they think they can just kind of communicate like they would normally every day with someone, but this isn't the case. It's a very different communication. You interact with different cultures, and sometimes I've seen educators make offend other cultures and things, and they didn't maybe intend to, but they just didn't realize that it's a different communication tool, and you have to be able to learn how to communicate on this tool in order for us to effectively teach our students how to do this. So there are things you have to think about, such as, is your message going to get across as angry? Are you going to offend someone? Definitely don't use any profanity. You wouldn't use this offline, definitely not online, where it's definitely kept on record. Keeping yourself public. If you keep things private, then you don't have any control of what kind of web presence you're having. I think that, things that we want to keep in private, then maybe we shouldn't be sharing those things anyway if we're uncomfortable. But I think we should definitely be public. We should show our real faces. And then, yes, we should tell people about us. We should let people know some things about us. For example, that I have this little pug that just walked up. And you also know a lot of things about me. And I'm okay, and I'm very comfortable with this. The things that I share online, I'm very comfortable with. But there are a lot of things that I don't share online because I'm not very comfortable with them at all. So I think it's very important to have this, established. And I think it's really important that you think about these things when you're sharing them. I also think it's important that you put ways that people can contact you. There's so many places that I go online and I try to find educators as part of my position with Parentella and establishing educator panels worldwide for different conferences, and I can't find the information, and it's so sad because I interact with this person on Twitter and I know their Twitter names, but I can't get any personal information to contact them to say, hey, I would love for you to be part of my education panel. Would you consider this? And there's some great opportunities out there. I've been able to get some positions and consultancy, and part of this is because I let you know this is where you can reach me, this is where you can contact me, and I'm very open in this way. And there are many educators out there, it's the same thing, they're open, they're not afraid to be made public. Yes, it could be a little scary, but if you put the right things out there, then you'll be fine. I think you should monitor as well, and one way you can do that is through Google Alerts, and all of these will be shared as resources, so you can begin the process of establishing a web presence. And this is definitely something that's just an ongoing process. There's no shortcuts really to get there, but eventually you'll get there, and eventually people will begin to interact with you, and you'll just see the power of really just letting go, and the amount of change and transformation that you can bring about just by taking this very brave step.